This is ours! Woo!
What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke, episode 230. We'll be reviewing that amazing Collingwood win against the Blues on Thursday night. So let's run that intro, jump straight into it. So just before we do jump straight into it, of course, follow me on all my social media accounts down below. If you are a new Swooper, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. If you are a returning Swooper, welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining me. I do appreciate every single one of you. A bit of a disclaimer before we jump into this review. You can hear that my voice is shot, so it's going to be a struggle for me to get through. So that's why I've been putting off recording this video. But let's jump into it and let's go over this amazing win. So on Thursday night, in front of 51,000 people at the MCG, Collingwood took on Carlton in, look, I don't want to say a season-defining clash, but you don't want to start 0-2 in a season. Yes, okay, in 2018 we started 0-2, made the grand final. That was 2018. This is 2021. It's a different ball game entirely. And Collingwood had to respond from that abysmal performance against the Western Bulldogs the week prior. So everything was pretty much on the line. There was talks about, Grundy, our intent, our attack, Nathan Buckley, Collingwood Football Club as a whole, did the preseason, just real fuck us up and stuff like that. But from the get-go, the boys showed so much heart, and I was just so proud of them. They just, look, it wasn't a perfect performance. Carlton a couple of times went on a 3 or 4 goal run, and you can't, against a team like a Geelong or a Richmond, they'll punish you when they do something like that. Thankfully, it was only Carlton, and they're not traveling too well. But look, it was a really good hit out, and like I said, I was so proud of the boys. They never gave up. They were trying new things, attacking a lot more, multiple goal scorers, players in different positions that they would normally play. So Buckley, for criticising him, saying that he doesn't have a plan B, C, D, or E, he really, and the coaches, they really did try something different, and it worked out, and this could be our way going forward. We hit that magical 100-point mark, which we haven't hit since round, I think, 22 in 2019 against Adelaide. So it was a long time ago, since we kicked 100 points in a game, and one, it was really good to see, and two, you could tell that the boys were enjoying themselves, and I loved every single second of that game, except for, the times that Carlton scared the shit out of us, but still. And look, just quickly on Carlton as well, fuck. I was running my mouth all week, and I was pretty confident going into the game. Not overly confident, but I was confident enough that we were going to win. I kept saying Pies by 24 points. Carlton supporters kept saying no. But, look what we put up, and God, it is so sweet to get a win over Carlton, especially, we're playing finals this year. We're building up. Building up to what, mate? Absolutely nothing. Zero. Absolutely zero. What this win means as well, last season when we beat them at the end of the season, our win-loss record against them was 127 apiece and 4 draws. This win put us above them in the win-loss category for the first time in 40 fucking years. 40 years. Incredible. And we're just going to keep getting that clearance between them, and it's going to be, look, it feels good. It absolutely feels good to knock them off. Like I was alluding to, this game was pretty much played, the way Collingwood wants to play their brand going forward, starting off kicking 6 goals in that first quarter where we barely scraped that against the Western Bulldogs the week prior. So we kicked 16 goals for the entire match. That's absolutely, magnificent. And like I was saying, this game, it did ebb and flow. It wasn't perfect. It did ebb and flow. First quarter was our second quarter. Carlton kind of got on top, but, we still kicked 5 goals. The third quarter was all Carlton. We were just kind of stemming the flow. Then the last quarter was all us. I absolutely did love the way we played. Our defense was impeccable. We only let 13 goals in, but still, Darcy Moore, incredible. Jack Crisp, when he went into the back line, then he started in the middle. Isaac, Jeremy Howe, Roughhead. There was this, we talk a lot about our backline and how good it is, but it's probably the best backline in the competition, no bias, a little bit of bias, and the forward line worked well, the midfield worked well. There was a lot to like about this game, which is a great segue into likes and dislikes. What did I like about this game? Our attacking brand of football, using the corridor a bit more. Look, yes, we use the corridor a little bit more. I love it. It opens up the game. It's also high risk, high reward. And we saw that a couple times. Brayden Maynard tried to use the corridor in the back line, got turned over. They kick a goal out of it. Same with Jack Crisp. He tries to go into the middle, gets turned over. They get a goal out of it. But when they don't get a goal out of it, when we actually hit targets, we're streaming down that middle. They can't catch us. Scott Pendlebury, Jack Crisp, Isaac Quaynor, all ran for that middle. Braden Sire, Joshy Thomas did it a little bit as well. It's the most direct path to goal and the easiest path to goal. And we were scoring from using the corridor instead of that wide game that we like to play and the slow game and stuff like that. I love this use of the corridor. Sure, you can't use it all the time and teams start catching you out on it, but it's good to just throw it in there every now and then. Another thing I loved, our players responding from the Western Bulldogs game. Geordie comes out, kicks 4 goals in his 100th. Brody Grundy has, 51 hit-outs. Like, if you look at our disposals against the Western Bulldogs, the top 9 of the top 10 disposal getters were all Western Bulldogs. This time, Jack Crisp got 36. Pendlebury hit 30. Adams, 29. Johnny Noble has come from the clouds, 23. Look, when we're on, we're absolutely on. The thing about Collingwood is we can play our best football and win grand finals if we wanted to. But there's just too much difference between playing our good football and playing bad football. There's kind of no in between. And you saw that from the contrast from round 1 and round 2. But if we can play that round 2 against Carlton style for the rest of the season, it'll go a long way into September. Another thing I liked, of course, I say it all the time, Darcy Moore, just give him the All-Australian jacket already, get his measurements tailored up, because 18 intercept possessions, 20-odd disposals, just marking them from everywhere. He is just a phenomenal player, and it begs the question why anyone wants him to play up forward anymore. He does his best work defensively. Yes, okay, Harry McKay kicked 4 goals on him, but the only reason that he kicked those goals was Moore was caught flat-footed, because what would happen was there'd be turnovers, right? And you're not expecting a turnover when you're in possession of the ball, and then Mackay just gets on the end of it really quickly. But in saying that, Darcy is a good one-on-one defender. Mackay doesn't kick 4 goals straight in any other game, bar this one. Believe me. When other teams play Collingwood, their players that don't kick goals somehow kick a bunch of them, That's just the luck of the draw with Collingwood. But Darcy Moore, incredible. Jeremy Howe, very understated. Jeremy Howe is, going about it just the way he does every week. Like I said, Johnny Noble, playing off that wing now. Yes, we love him off the half-back, but playing off that wing, giving us that run, giving us that depth, really good. I've been calling for Jack Crisp to go into the middle for so long, and they finally did it. And it's paid dividends. Maybe he's the true link that we've been missing, He goes into the middle. It leaves Quaynor to, go off that halfback. Johnny Noble, when he's down there, a halfback, or Brayden Maynard, whoever it may be. But Crisp, in and under player, he gets the ball, he accumulates the ball. He's a good outside runner as well. So I think it was a master stroke playing him in the middle. Talking about master strokes, Scott Pendlebury in the forward line. At one stage, he was deepest forward in the goal square, leading out. Sure, he didn't kick a bag or he didn't kick a goal, but I just love that we have this flexibility now that we can put Pendles in the forward line because we know he's damaging. We know he has a good IQ. He had a couple goal assists. Steele Sidebottom in the forward line, which I've been calling for I don't know how long. And I love that as well. The older these players get, moving to the forward line, like Gary Ablett Jr. as well was doing that, Patrick Dangerfield does that as well. keep him in the forward line. If you can get, say Pendlebury and Sidebottom are rotating to the forward line. If you can get 2 or 3 goals from them a game, Bob's your uncle, you know what I mean? That's work done. Something that I did dislike, the Carlton run on goals. It seemed that whenever they kicked 1 or 2, they were just ready to get another one, ready to get the other one. And just at times we were caught flat-footed. Turnovers, they scored a lot of goals from turnovers. So we just tightened that up because another team will really, really put you to the sword if you're, causing those turnovers throughout the game. But the biggest thing I disliked was that Jamie Elliott injury. Oh, man. It hurt. He was going to have a season and a half, We saw what he could do last year. We know what he can do. But last year was next level. He, started the game with 2 goals. And now he's out for 3 months. It's heartbreaking, Fuck, I love him. I feel so sorry for him. He always injured. But, look, 3 months, he'll come back stronger than ever. And propel us to a finals berth, hopefully. So stats that mattered. Last week against the Bulldogs, we're taken to the cleaners with our disposals and, not having a lot of possession of the ball. This week, disposals 371 to 346, so we controlled a lot of the ball. 48 inside 50s to 60, so Carlton were getting it a lot in there, but only converting 37% of their chances, whereas we converted 52% of our chances, which is good. We don't usually convert over 45%, so, that's a good sign. Hitouts, 21 to 55. We absolutely dominated, but again, lost the clearances. So Grundy's doing a lot of the work. It's just that mid to ruck, switch that needs to be flicked so we can get more of these clearances, because by rights, we should be winning the clearances if we're winning the tap-outs by 30-odd or 34, hitouts. We were plus in. So you can see that with 40 clearances to Carlton, they're sharking Grundy's taps like every other team does, like I've been saying every single week. Last week against the Bulldogs, we were right down on tackles. Buckley mentioned that. This week, we were plus 24 in tackles. So Carlton had 41 tackles. We had 65. One thing that I do love is the bounces. We had 9 running bounces, which means that we're taking the game on, we're playing, and I bet you most of those bounces were Isaac Quaynor as well. He loves a run and bounce. One thing that I didn't like in these stats was the 1%ers. So that's like, putting a Shepherd or Smother and stuff like that. Carlton had 60, we had 43. One thing I'm a big advocate for is if you give off the hands, put up your hands. Shepherd. We don't see it a lot. The guys don't do it, and it's, the girls don't do it either. It's just such a basic thing that no one seems to do anymore. And I'd love for a coach to tell me why. Do they not train this, or has shepherding gone out of the game? It just gives the player that you give the handball off to, that 1 or 2 more seconds to make a decision rather than just getting tackled. So, I'd love to know what the hell that's all about. So on Instagram, of course, I asked you, give me some Qs to A. So we're just going to go through this list. I haven't read any of them, and we'll see. Lots about who replaces Jamie. I've got a video coming out of that earlier next week, so wait for that. Jesus, they're all about Jamie. Jamie. Different question. Ahmed Haz 19 says, different question. How do we tighten up on our defense to not let as many goals kicked on us? So I think the defense is good, but like I said, it's those turnovers that are costing us. Braden Maynard, Jack Crisp coming into the middle. High risk, high reward. I get it. We just have to, if we're under pressure, the best thing to do, obviously, is go to the boundaries. You don't have to be Einstein to know that. Especially if you're hemmed up into a pocket in the back line, just go long, get some territory instead of trying to cut across for a Hail Mary pass. That's one thing that we can do to tidy up. Elliot. Should DeGoey now stay in attack? So yeah, with Elliott gone, you probably do leave DeGoey in the forward 50 more times than you leave him in, the midfield. Does that mean, old mate Finlay McRae comes in and stays as a predominant midfielder? Who knows, but something I'd love to see. JT in or out? I honestly don't know how he still gets a game. Look, Josh Thomas needs to convert more. We know that. Maybe with Elliott out, he stays as a permanent forward as well. But Josh Thomas does bring a lot of pressure, and you only notice it when you watch the replay, how much he actually does off the ball, and you can see why Buckley and the coaches keep him in. So I think he's doing okay at the moment. Madam says, the year's 30-21. Carlton still haven't beaten us. Do you feel sorry for them? I will never, ever, ever, ever feel sorry for the fucking Blue Baggers. Ugh, shudder thinking about feeling sorry for them. Joshua J. Blacker asks, will Crisp's touches stay that high if we play this brand, or was it one game? Look, so Chris got 36. If we play this brand of football, yeah, and when we leave him in the middle, 100%, he's going to be that Adam Treloar accumulator, except he can actually hit a target and he has that penetrating kick. I think as a permanent midfielder, Crisp will get, those touches every single week. Kevin McAlpine asks, what did you think of Mason Cox's game? I think up until halftime, Cox had 2 disposals, wasn't really getting into it. And then obviously he kicked a couple of goals. And then, when you kick a goal, it's funny. You start, you puff out your chest a little bit more, and you've got that bit more bravado, and you want to demand the ball. With Cox, though, he might only get 5 touches in a game or kick 1 or 2 goals. But what it does, it still brings out their best defender, or their first or second best defender to play on him. And they're going to give away a free. They're not going to, be tall enough to get him. So if he doesn't kick goals, Cox works as that dummy forward. So he'll lead up, take their best defender, clears that space so Wiedering doesn't come through and or Liam Jones doesn't come through as that third man up for a contest, get that intercept mark. So if he's not kicking goals, he's a dummy forward. And I think that's a perfect example of why he has to stay in the team. And the last one, Condo77 asks, is John Noble the most underrated player in the comp at this point in time? I think Noble and Crisp are the most underrated players at the moment. But Noble is just, like I said before, he's quick. He knows how to use the ball. He came from the mid-season draft, so I can't imagine how good our mid-season draft is going to be with 2 picks this time around. And yeah, I think he is one of the most underrated players in the competition at the moment. Could he be a smoky for Australian? Who knows? Or at least top 40? Who knows? But his move to the wing is just incredible. It's a masterstroke by Buckley and the team. Alright, so that's been my review of the game. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know your likes, your dislikes. But I want to give a quick shout out to the Brown brothers. Callum Brown was on the outer. We know that. He gets brought into the team. That was some of his good 2019 form that we saw from him. Marking, pressuring, tackling. I really liked his game on Thursday night. Same with Tyler Brown. He's getting a little bit more into it. Sure, he doesn't make a lot of good decisions at the moment, but you can see that he's really trying, and that's why they keep their place in the team. So quick shout out to the Brown brothers. But anyway, guys, it's been my review. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.
Ooh la la.